Hello there, yours truly back in the cinematic hot seat with something that's been on my mind, heart, soul, and spirit about long gap rubber band sequels. Waiting like a generation and a half just to make a part two or three or four. Sequels, they should be, the average, 2 to 3 years, and 5 years being the most because a lot can change in 5 years, ladies and gentlemen. Now, drum roll. The Bad Boys series with Martin Lawrence and Will Smith. The original one debuted in 1995. The sequel, now this is where it gets interesting and juicy. Bad Boys 2, 2003. That's 8 years right there. Then Bad Boys for Life, last year, 17 years. Wow. If they keep this trend, ladies and gentlemen, Bad Boys 4 will be in 2034. Now to The Matrix. The first one, 1999. The Reloaded, 2002. And Revolution, 2003. Now those are short sequels until it was resurrected 18 years later with The Matrix Resurrection, 2021. Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, 1989. Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, 1991. Reasonable sequel gap until Face the Music, near Disney length 29 years later from 1991. Wow, 29 years, 2020. Also starring Keanu Reeves, so that's two for him. And that's a twofer. Now we're going old school. The Wizard of Oz, 1939. Then we return back to Oz, 1985. That's weird. And imagine being there on the debut of the first Oz, and then you're still around with the return of Oz. That's 36 years, I believe, isn't it? Wow. 36 years. I mean, if 5 years can make a difference, imagine what 36 years can do, ladies and gentlemen. Now we're going to Independence Day, 1996. And Independence Day Resurgence, 20 years later, and they include Will Smith. You knew it was a fail. Funny enough, this had potential of us seeing ID1, ID2, and ID3 because we've seen ID4. Yeah, 20 years, and where's ID1, 2, and 3? Maybe the 96 version is part 4 and Resurgence is part 1. But it fails, so we'll never see, ladies and gentlemen, 2 and 3. Dang it. Now we're going to Indiana Jones and the Raiders of Lost Ark, 1981. Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, 1984. Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, 1980. I think it's 89. 89. So, they had it right with the Indy trilogy until Doomsday. Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, 2008. Wow, 19 years, huh? 19 years, really? Harrison Ford was in Spring Chicken back in 98, mind you. And here's some more. Lightning strikes once again with a 14-year gap from the Crystal Skull with the upcoming Indiana Jones 5. Should be coming next year. Wow. That's all I gotta say about that is wow. Oh, by the way, Harrison Ford, he's another two for Blade Runner 1982 and Blade Runner 2049, 2017. 35-year gap. It's almost 2 generations of Harrison Ford second. Wow, I guess he's built Ford tough, I guess. Built Ford tough. Okay, Fantasia, back in 1940. And the sequel, Fantasia 2000, you guessed it, 2000. Disney's first strike of long gap sequels, and that is 60 years. Wow. How many wars have that been? Like War, what, 1, 2, Vietnam? Oh boy. Yeah, same with the Wizard of Oz. I mean, imagine being, let's say you were 7 years old. Wow, you were 67 when this came out. Boy, time is something else. Unfortunately, it's not guaranteed for us. Second offender from Disney, Mary Poppins, 1964. And she returns again, y'all, in 2018. 44 years, yes indeed, 44 years, over two generations, lots of change in humanity. Talking about going a distance, Disney. Yeah, eventually, maybe Disney may end up making a sequel to Steamboat Willie. Here's the third one, Bambi, 1942, and the sequel to Bambi in 2006. Disney's third strike with their longest so far in our existence to be, because that's the one that I can find as the longest of long gap rubber band sequels. 46 years, ladies and gentlemen, 46 years. I mean, kind of like with the, kind of with the 44 and this 60 years. I mean, it's wow. How many wars, presidents, U.S. historical events of changes that happened since then? I mean, wow. Neighborhoods, money, inflation. I mean, wow. This is the silent generation and beyond, to be honest. Here's number 4, Tron, 1982, and 28 years later, Tron Legacy, 2010. Disney does love their long rubber band gap sequels, but at least this was 28 years. And to end this, Wall Street from 1987, and it's true, money never slept. With the Wall Street, money never sleeps. 2007, 20 years. Wow, that's still a lot. I don't get this. I just don't. I mean, I love sequels, and again, they should be to a 2 to 3 at most 5-year gap. Because, wow, you imagine having the guarantee that with the Bambi 64 years. Can you imagine waiting a sequel for 64 years? Back to the Wall Street, like Roadhouse 2 and Point Break 2. Rest in peace, Patrick Swayze. Man, the world's not the same without you. Wall Street shouldn't have even had a sequel. It shouldn't have been a sequel. It should have it was a perfect ending the way it was. It was perfect the way it was. In fact, the 1987 OG, yeah, it was settled, set in stone, still remarkable, still educational, and still valuable. Still, I mean, wow, you cannot find no faults with that film. Then they had to run it down the mud with that stupid sequel. Money Never Sleeps was indeed a pie in the face of the OG, and stay far, far away from it. Yeah, I wonder what else is going to be cooking under there, because there's been a whole lot of them as of lately, ladies and gentlemen. But I don't know. Would you rather have a Rubber Band long sequel, or would you just have more pointless and remakes and reboots that's going to, just crash and burn? And I'm about to end this radio cut of Cinematic with CLJ. I hope you all like this and give it likes, share this video, comments, put your, long Rubber Band gap sequels down below if I have missed it any. Until next time, yours truly, CLJ, signing off. Peace, love, and happiness. Until next time, take care of yourselves and bye-bye.